Hey guys, it's Elizabeth from Running Stitch, and I am back with my update for June. And this is actually take two because I started talking for a minute and a half, and my iPad just stopped working. Like, not stopped working, but it just turned off. It didn't notify me that I was short of storage or anything. It just said, I'm done. And then, like, that was it. So I got all the way. I got all the way through my video and I went to put it on the laptop to edit it all together, and there was nothing. Nothing. So, take two. Let's see if this goes well. All right. So yeah, we're a month into summer. It's been really good. I've had a lot of stitchy time, which means the house is in various stages of disarray, but it's okay. It's life. 3 children. Husband also teaches, so he's also relaxing. So if he minds that it's in various stages of disarray, at least he hasn't told me. So anyway, haven't really been doing too much. Kids have been in some lessons. Well, one kid has been in some lessons this week. Just been relaxing. No plans to go anywhere. It's getting hot. I'm here in Texas, so those of you who are my neighbors in our great state are well aware that the furnace has been turned on. It is hot, which is making running a little challenging, to say the least. I have kicked off, officially kicked off marathon training for December, and I know it's early, but I wanted to get a head start. I'm running my first full marathon in December. It'll be the Dallas Marathon. I'm very excited, a little nervous, which I'm sure I'll be even more nervous as I get closer to it, but right now, just very excited. But it's hot, and I think I had mentioned before that I run in the morning, like 5 in the morning, and so in the spring and the fall, it's still a little chilly that early in the morning, but now that we're in like the throes of summer here, it feels like it's actually not early enough. The past couple of Saturdays, which is when I do my really long runs, so usually during the week I put in about 5 to 7 miles, every couple of days or so, but on Saturdays is when I do my long runs, and I'm back up to above 10 miles, which that'll, as we get closer to December, that's going to be in the 20s. But right now tomorrow I'm probably shooting for between 10 and 12 miles. So on Saturdays I start at 6:30 with my run club, and it's not early enough. Like, I'm actually going to get started earlier tomorrow because it's so bloody hot. And it's humid. It's so humid here. I wake up in the morning and I walk out the door at 5 o'clock, and, it's 85% humidity, and it's 80 degrees. I know that the dew point doesn't get usually above the temperature, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it's ridiculous. And you know that when the dew point is close to what the temperature is, your sweat can't evaporate, and that's how you cool yourself when you're outside working out or doing yard work or whatever you're doing. When you break a sweat, that's your body's way of regulating your core temperature. So the fact that my sweat can't evaporate when I'm out running right now, it's making it very, very challenging. And a lot of my running friends have been expressing the same complaint. It's been very, very difficult. And once that sun comes up above that horizon, it's just even more challenging because now you have the heat and not just the humidity. So running has picked up, but it's not been easy. So it takes a little bit of acclimating. Texas didn't exactly really get a spring this year. We went straight from like a mild winter to bam, summer. So it's been really hard. So I've been working on that, trying to find ways to stay hydrated, and get accomplished what I need to accomplish. So, um, other than that, we have a new addition to the family. We got a puppy about 3 weeks ago. Her name is Kaya, and I'll put a little spelling right down there, K-A-I-A. And let me, oh, my husband is bringing her to me because I want to put her on the video. Okay, so this is Kaya. Oh, and when I did take one, I had just picked her up from a nap, and now she's like in play mode. So this is Kaya. She is a little Dalmatian, as you can see, and she's teething, so she wants to bite everything. Everything. It doesn't even matter if it's like inanimate object or human flesh. Like, she just wants to bite. But she is a sweetheart. She's got a really strong stubborn streak that we're having to break. We've nicknamed her anything from Ball of Chaos to Whirling Dervish to Freak on a Leash, if you remember the Korn band. They had that song. Yeah, so she's kind of crazy. You know, I always wanted a dog that had like fun little personality quirks, because all the dogs I've had have been pretty relatively normal. So I was like, man, it would be really fun to have a dog that's got all those funny quirks. You know, you see like dogs on YouTube, they're doing funny stuff, and now that I have one, like I might recant my sentiment, but she's sweet and she's gonna be a good buddy. She's actually kind of been my stitching buddy because she likes, when she naps, she likes to lay with her back pressed up against something. And so my chair where I stitch has kind of been that for her. So I'll have like my stand and frame in front of me, and then there's Kaya like right down there on the floor amidst all of it, just sleeping or chewing or something. Anyway, so here's Miss Kaya. Here she is. Here's all of her spots.
She's like, what do we do?
Okay, there she is. All right, so that's kind of my new stitching buddy, and
Now that I got her, she's calm.
yeah, now that my husband has her, like, she totally calms down. He's the pack leader in our house. He's the master. So, and I've noticed, like, as we've been training her, she responds more to him than she will to me. And I don't know if it's just a matter of time before, you know, she recognizes me as also kind of an alpha figure in the house. Our boxer, Milo, who's right here. Come here, Milo. Come here. Here's Milo. Here's Milo. He recognizes my husband as pack leader, but he's more attached to me. So he will respond to both of us equally. So it'll be interesting to see if Kaya does the same thing. She's a bit more stubborn, so I don't know, maybe a little different with her. But here's Milo. He's 5. He's my boy. He's a total sweetheart. So, okay. There you go. All right, so that's what's going on with life. Yeah, so let's get into WIPs. I have a lot to show you. And I feel weird doing this a second time, but you know, it is what it is. So, yeah, got a lot to show you. June was a very productive month cross-stitching wise. And then I have some haul that I'll save till the end because I know some people don't like to see hauls. So out of respect for you guys, I'll leave that to the end. So let's get right into it. My first thing I worked on, and I actually kind of threw my rotation out the window this month because I'm not on a school schedule. I just kind of went with it, and I stitched on what was calling to me. And because I could have so much time to devote to cross-stitching, I got a lot more done than what I would normally get done. So I didn't feel like I needed to stick to a weekly rotation. I just worked on whatever called to me and went with it. So the first thing I worked on, ironically as usual, was my Mirabilia, Christmas in London. So there's the finished design. Here's what it looked like when you last saw it. And here's where she is now. Ta-da! So I got the top parts of both curtains done. Sans beads, of course. The architecture over here is done for the top of the page, or top of the design. And because this is all done in muted blues, which act as the neutrals in the background, I'm kind of having a hard time deciding, is this like a bookshelf back here with the bird? Is it, there's obviously kind of a column and then obviously a bird. Is this intricate paneling that you would see in a mansion? I don't know. It's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly what it is, but still it's very, very pretty. And then on the other side, there's the grandfather clock. So the tree comes up in here. But I got the grandfather clock done, the bird and the column, whatever you want to call it, done over here. And then I got, I'm going to call this a chandelier because I really think that's what it is. It's obviously wrapped in Christmas greenery, and then there you can see the strands of beads that are going to come through here. But there are like lush strands of crystals that come down. I mean, let me show you. There are 10. There are 10 of these. See, here's my bead pack. There they are. Sorry for the crinkling. Okay. There are 10 of these. The little teardrops. And if you know how much they are, you know how much this bead pack was about. 10 of them. So they hang from bead strands coming down from this. So that leads me to believe that this has got to be some kind of chandelier. And then it's got a candle here, and then there's a ball of greenery. Is that called like a pomander? Is that what the name is of that? Like a little hanging topiary? What's the formal name for it? Someone comment and let me know, because I'm drawing a blank. There's a ball of greenery that hangs here, which is where I'm going to start next and get that done. And my plan is to get all the stitching done in the top half, so everything from here up, and then I only have to move the scroll bars once, because I have two sizes of the quantum frame from Omanique factory, and they're very similar to the Millennium frame, except that I have this here. The stretcher bars, this is plastic, whereas on the Millennium frame, it's all wood, I believe. I don't have one, but I've seen them in other videos. So this is plastic, but it works the same exact way. So quantum frame from Omanique, very similar to Millennium, except that you get it way faster, and the customer service is amazing. So if you're in the market for a scroll frame, Omanique Factory, O-M-A-N-I-K, I'll put it down below. Omanique Factory is the way to go. They're in Estonia, and from order time to doorstep, I think it was about 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So yeah, worth it. Totally worth it. Tension is amazing. It's not hard to set up. It's a little tedious if you want to like switch projects in and out a lot. It does get a little tedious, but totally worth it. I would never go back to anything else ever. I love them. I love them too much. So going back to this, sorry, I'm rambling. I want to get the top half done, stitching, and then move down to the bottom and get all that done. And then my plan is to bead it in hand. I really like beading on the frame And I made it work when I did my mermaids of the deep blue. I beaded on the frame. But I think I'm actually going to bead this one in hand. Just because there's so much. And with those teardrop crystals, I don't want to take any chances of something happening to those. So I think I'm just going to bite the bullet and bead it in hand. And I used to stitch in hand, actually. But just got away from it. I just have really enjoyed using the frame. So anyway, Christmas in London. Really excited with how this is coming along. I want to get this one done before my school year starts back up. So that's my goal this summer, is to get this one finished. Which kind of brings me into talking about, where's my little sticky note? Brings me to talking about my whips. So hang on one second. I want to get Christmas in London done this summer because I want to get a whip knocked out. I have amassed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 whips. Now, I know to some of you that seems very minuscule, and you're probably laughing at me, and you're probably saying, oh, bless her heart, you know, like us Texans like to say when we don't really agree with you, but we still like you. We say, oh, bless your heart. Yeah, so, oh, bless my heart, I have 13 whips, and that's a lot to me. Me personally, that's a lot, especially because of the size of most of them. They're large. I just like the large projects. So yeah, here's what I'm looking at. I know, this is so silly. I've seen Flosstubers that have these beautiful elaborate spreadsheets and Excel charts and scrapbooks and binders where everything is so wonderfully organized, and here I am with my Post-it note. Like, if this is not indicative of a artistic, creative, scatterbrained mind, I don't know what is. Like, we lack organization. So this is my organization, my little list of whips. And there's 13 on here, and I need to start whittling it down because I am starting to get a little overwhelmed. Plus, I've got a box full of stuff upstairs that I would like to start someday. So I think my plan of attack is going to be to get my Christmas in London done, my memorabilia done. And then I'm going to go through this and find either the small projects like my Outlander bookmark, Sweet Pea Fairy, my last mini Chatelaine, you know, things like that that just don't take too much time. Either I'm going to focus on getting those done first, or maybe do one of those and then a larger one that I've kind of gotten further into. So like my Joan Elliott dollhouse, or my the things that go bump, that Halloween sampler I have, or even Max. Like Max needs to be finished because he's been hanging around since I graduated college, like over 10 years ago. Oh my gosh, has it been 10 years? Yeah, so I think I'm going to take the Dave Ramsey approach to getting my whip pile whittled down. You know, like his total money makeover, where you pay off like the small debt, and then what you were paying for that, you then throw into paying off the next debt, and then once you get those paid off, you throw all of that into paying off the next debt, and so it's like you're working your way up the chain of your debt. So yeah, I think I'm going to do the Dave Ramsey total cross-stitch makeover. Am I going to get sued for saying that? I hope not. You know it's a joke. Yeah, so I think that might be my plan of attack for this whip pile. So, anyway, okay, moving on. That was the memorabilia. The next thing I worked on, this some of you are going to get really excited about is my chatelaine. Persian Iris Garden got a lot of love this month. I got a lot done, and I'm really pleased with how it's turning out. So here it is. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. There's the overall. The lighting is still good in this room, so you can see the sparkle. Okay, so let me move my thread here. Sorry for the parked thread. Okay, trying not to make you seasick with all the movement. So I got all of this city done, castle wall, city, whatever it is, done, and the stylized flowers, little backstitch flowers up here, the irises. And then I got the first corner done, like the very outside corner, completely done, except for beading, of course. So this turned out so pretty. I'm so excited about it. So excited about it. The only challenging thing that I found was when I was doing these rooftops. That's all, the backstitching was so tedious. That was all done in Petite Treasure Braid, and you have to do this amongst all this silk. And so it's not like backstitching with, you know, DMC on top of DMC. I mean, if you've used the Petite Treasure Braid, you know that it's rough. Like, it's kind of like the Krennic or the Light Effects, you know, whatever your metallic is a choice. I mean, they're all somewhat similar. This was quite tedious, especially, let me get real close there. Will it focus? So you see the little boxes, but inside those boxes, it's a little, like a plus sign, like a little cross. And so it took a lot of focus to really make sure that I wasn't snagging, making sure that everything was laying properly. I mean, it took some focus. But other than that, I mean, it went really smoothly. So this is looking really good. I don't think I've ever done a close-up of the center. So there's the center. So I don't even know if I need to say anything about it because it's just so beautiful. So yeah. So Persian Iris Garden. It's really exciting to see so much get done. So yeah, I'm really loving that one. Okay. Next thing is the Heaven and Earth design that I started at the end of Mania, and I totally scrapped the end of my Mania plans because I started A Stitch in Time by Amy Stewart, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And here's where it was the last time I showed it to you. And you got a glimpse of the back when I was showing you the frame just a few minutes ago, but here's where it is now. So I got the first page done, and this, I'm trying to think of how to say this other than like it's just a lot of confetti. This took me a lot longer than I thought it was going to, and I had to approach things a little bit differently than with my other Heaven and Earth because there was so much confetti. And I have to say thank you to Nikki Crafts. If you've watched her videos, she's also doing A Stitch in Time, but I think she's got another Heaven and Earth going on. But she actually records herself stitching. So I was sitting there watching how she did hers and how she was parking her threads and how she was tying them off on the back, and it kind of helped me really get through this. On my other Heaven and Earth design, there's so much area that is solid color, so you know, it wasn't it was moving along a lot quicker. But that one is also being done 2/1. So it's bulkier. So I was using waist knots to end my threads. But with this one, this is on 28 count 1/1 full crosses. And it's not as bulky, so I have been tying my threads off on the back. So when I was watching Nikki Craft's her videos, I was seeing how she was starting her thread just using one strand, because I had actually never really done that before without using a knot, and I didn't want to use a knot. So I picked up a little tip from her with that, and then I am finishing these off on the back, and it's been going pretty well. Other than the fact that it takes forever to get through all this confetti, it's been going really well, and I've loved seeing all the detail. And somebody on the new official Heaven and Earth Designs Facebook group posted their first page of this one done. Now they started on the bottom in the winter shelf, because it's a bookshelf and each shelf is a season. So they were starting on the winter shelf, and they said they were doing max colors, and the detail in the max colors is amazing. This one is the regular 87 color version, and I would love to have this one in max color, but once I got into this page and saw all the confetti that even just the regular one has, I was like, I think I'll just be happy with my regular colors. So, yeah, stitch and tying, first page. Probably put this one down for a little while. Not only do I just need a break from 1/1, but like I said, I want to really knock that Mirabilia out. So, anyway, page 1. Okay, so those are my whips. That brings me to my finish that I have. I finished, let me turn this right way. I finished one of the mini mandalas from Chatelaine. I have the set of mini mandalas 1, 2, and 3. So if you want to do a Chatelaine, but you're not ready to quite commit to the big ones, these are perfect to start with, because it introduces you to how Martina does her charts and her designs, and each mandala has a specialty stitch. So the first mandala in this set had I think it had Algerian islets, so that was my first introduction to that. This one also has Algerian islets, and then the other one in the set has some Rhodes stitches. So they are still very tedious and still very good introduction to what you can expect from the big ones, just obviously on a smaller scale. So here is my finished one, and the lighting is kind of blowing this out, so it might be a little hard to see some of the beads, but this one sat for a while because in the center here, these crystal beads, I had to redo them. I had them all put in, and I hated the way that they laid on the fabric. This is a 32 count linen, and these are Mill Hill beads. Now Martina in her larger mandalas normally calls for delica beads, and delica beads are very cylindrical. So if you think of a donut, you know, like a bead is just a little tiny donut, the delica beads, the walls of the donut are very flat, and they're very cylinder, whereas Mill Hill beads, they're puffier. The walls of the bead are puffy, so they lay differently, and you can't get the Mill Hill beads as close together as you can with the delicas. So this section in here with these 4 clusters of beads really it frustrated me because I was trying to squeeze them all in and they just weren't laying right. And I decided after watching Cowgirl Kate's video where she had finished beading her was a fairy, was it Midsummer Night's Fairy, I think. And she said that she had to make some adjustments for her beaded areas and she had to leave some beads out. And so when I watched that video, that's what made my decision to rip all these out, and I redid them, and I actually left some beads out. So in each of these little sections, you see this long line through the center of the beads, and then there's 3 beads, and then it goes down to 2 beads, and then the pattern calls for 1 bead on the end. But I left it off because the bead would cover up the blue stitch. So there should be 1 bead over here, and I just left it out because it would cover up the blue stitching, and I just feel like it would have negatively affected the integrity of the center portion. So I'm happy with just leaving them off, the single beads on the ends off. I think it looks wonderful just like this, and you know, since I'm the one stitching it and I'm happy with it, then I guess that's all that matters. So I put my little initials down here at the bottom, EC with 16, and this one is done. So always nice to have a finish, no matter how big or how small, just always good to finish something. I mean, I enjoy the process, don't get me wrong, but it's just nice every now and then to actually see something get finished. So anyway, okay, so that is all I have for whips and my finish. So if you don't want to stick around for haul, then we get to say goodbye now. Before you go, though, I do want to say a million thank yous for liking and commenting and subscribing, and I cannot believe that in 5 videos I have over 1,000 people who want to watch and listen to what I have to say. Like, it blows me away. Like, I can't even express how incredible that makes me feel. Y'all are amazing, and people are amazing, and it's just been very special. So thank you so much for your support in making me feel, you know, that this is all worth it, that, you know, it's important to me and you and everybody that is involved in this cross-stitching community. So yeah, I feel like I'm rambling, but again, just a million thank yous. So if you don't want to stick around for haul, I will see you in the next video, and happy stitching. If you are still with me, I have a few things to show. I have 3 pieces of fabric, I have a pattern, and I have 2 things kitted up. So ready or not, here we go. I have two pieces of fabric from Leslie. Hi Leslie. Under the Sea Fabrics, I have the May fabric of the month, which is called Naiad, and it is a beautiful aqua with these bursts of darker greens and blues, and then there's some little pops of lighter greens. It's so neat, and this is a lot more contrast than what I usually use for fabric, so finding something to go on this might be a little bit more challenging for me because this is outside of my box, but it's beautiful. So yeah, that's really exciting. Okay, so that's Naiad. And I also got, I'm sorry, my nose is itching. Like, what is it with videoing and noses itching? Seriously, I'm so sorry. Okay. I also got another piece of fabric from Leslie. This was not a fabric of the month. This came with my fabric of the month, but this was a separate order. And I had purchased this to go with a specific pattern, and I'm actually not going to use this fabric for what I intended to use it for, because it came in looking very differently than what it looked like on the viewer. And it's nothing against the fabric, like it's beautiful and I will find a use for it. It just isn't gonna work for what I thought I wanted to use it for. But you know, that's just what happens with computer screens, and you know, those of you that dye fabric and thread and yarn, and you know, I mean, that's the beauty of a handcrafted item, is that no two are the same. And so this looks a lot different than what it does on the computer screen, but again, that's okay. I'll find a use for it. It's still beautiful, and I still wanted to show you. So this is Aphrodite, and both of these that I've shown so far are 32 count Belfasts from Zweigart. So this is Aphrodite, and on the viewer it showed up a lot more like a rose pink with purples in there, but when I got it in the mail, there are purples, but it's mostly just a very bright, almost kind of like a Barbie pink. So I'll add it to my stash, and when something comes along that needs some pink fabric, I have this one ready to go. So that is Aphrodite. And then my third fabric is from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. I have been on the waiting list since December, and I finally, a month ago, got the long-awaited email to join her club. So I'm super excited that I got my first fabric of the month from Steph, and this is Junebug. And it is a beautiful green, and of course the camera is saying, nope, not gonna pick the color up, but it is beautiful. It's beautiful green. It looks like there's little bits of yellow in there, and it's just absolutely amazing. So very excited about that. And I got, I saw a sneak peek of what July's fabric is gonna be. If you go to her Facebook page, Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, she gives you a sneak peek, and so July's fabric is also going to be so pretty. So very excited about that. Okay, so I told you that the Aphrodite fabric, the pink one, I bought for a specific pattern, and here's what I bought it for, but I'm not gonna use it with it anymore. So I got Mirabilia's Peony Garden, and I know this pattern has been out for a while, and I never really noticed it until I saw some Flosstubers do their Mirabilia parade. I think it was Mackenzie at the Lovely Array, she started it, and then I know Adele, did Adele do? No. Maybe it was, no, it was not Adele, it was Tracy P did hers. And then I don't know if Jessie Marie did one or not, I can't remember. But I know there were at least a couple of you that did a Mirabilia parade. And a lot of the ones that they showed were some of the older Mirabilias, and they're beautiful. And so when I saw this one, it made me think of one of the older designs. Just, I mean, and you can tell, because if you look at this one compared with Christmas in London, I mean, Nora Corbett's kind of evolved in her design. I mean, you can just tell, like, her first ones are not, they don't seem as busy. This one is very simple, and just this, you can just tell her style has changed over the years, which is a good thing. So this one just caught my eye for whatever reason. I can't even explain it. It just did. And so I knew I had to buy it. And also, my mother grows a lot of peony plants in her garden, and so I thought this was just perfect to do because she and I are very much alike. And this one just really spoke to me, so got that one. And it, believe it or not, calls for 10 water lily threads. And I have one already, but I need 9 more. Like, how lucky am I to get to stitch with 10 water lily threads in this one pattern? Like, it's pretty cool. I don't have them all yet, obviously. I have one, but yeah, those will be fun to collect. Okay, so I have 2 things here that I've kitted up. Maybe, I think I finished kitting them both up maybe like a month and a half ago. Back in this early spring, like March area. And I know for some of you, you're like, what? March is still winter. No, down here in Texas, March is starting to get into spring. So my mother and I had gone to the Stitch Niche, which is my local needlework store in Arlington, Texas. And I live just south of Arlington, down in Mansfield. So it takes me maybe, on a good day, maybe 20 minutes to get up there. So that's really nice that I have it so close. So we went to the Stitch Niche, and she bought something and I bought something, because you know it's illegal to walk out of a crafting store without having purchased something. It just is. So she doesn't cross stitch anymore, but when she saw this, she literally like jaw dropped, and she's like, OMG, do you think you could stitch that for me? Because her eyesight is so bad now for this, she just doesn't do it anymore. And I said, duh. So she bought The Flood by Plum Street Samplers. And this is absolutely gorgeous. And it's called for NPIs. It's all done in NPIs. Now obviously there's a DMC conversion, which I have done because as much as I would love to stitch this in NPI silk, there's no way. There's just no way I can afford to do that. Especially when it calls for 36 skeins of floss. And wait, that's just 36 colors. There could be multiple skeins needed per color on some of these. So it's not feasible for me to do it in all NPIs. So I did the DMC conversion, and out of 36 colors, I pulled 31 of them from my stash. Go me. So I only have to go buy, when I get ready to start this, I only have to go buy 5 colors of DMC, which at my Joann's, it's 40 cents a skein normally, so pretty cool. And then I got the fabric for this, and it calls for 36 count linen. This is from Lakeside Linen, and I got it from 123 Stitch, but it's a Lakeside linen. And it's from Lakeside. It's a Zweigart fabric, but it's from Lakeside Linens. And this is in Vintage Buttercream. So because it's their vintage line, there's a little modeling in the dye. You can't really see it in this one because it's a lighter fabric, but the lighting in here is just not playing well with it. But it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And you know, you just can't beat those Zweigart linens. They're so soft. So I have never worked on anything smaller than 32, so this will be a fun adventure. And the pattern calls for one strand over 2 threads, which I'm gonna have to play around with the coverage because I'm looking at the fabric and we'll have to see how that works out. So I may go 2 over 2, may go 1 over 2, I don't know yet. Okay, so there's the Flood. And when we went, I got something. I'm watching the time on my iPad because this is now like the third time I've had to record parts of this. I got another Plum Street Samplers pattern, and it is called Strong in the Lord. And I know some of you may not be necessarily religious. I am, but if you're not, I mean, you can still appreciate the beautiful colors in this pattern. I mean, they're absolutely beautiful. And you know what makes them so beautiful is that 2 of them are Gloriana silk. So this also calls for all MPIs. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 MPIs. I converted those over to the DMC because again, it just, I could get 6 MPIs, but I'd rather spend that money on something else. So, but I did get the Glorianas. So I've got 6 DMC threads and then 2 Glorianas. I'll show those in a second. The fabric is 40 count linen, also from Lakeside Linens, vintage maple sugar. So this is an absolutely gorgeous piece of fabric, and you can see the modeling in this one really well. So really, really pretty. Okay, and then the 2 Glorianas that I got with it. I'm so excited because Gloriana silk, I mean, come on. There's cinnamon. And I need this color in a lipstick. Like, no joke. I need this color in a lipstick. Cinnamon. And then there's Gloriana Bellagio. How pretty is that? Yeah. So, that'll be exciting. I don't know why I haven't started this yet. Oh yeah, because I have 13 other whips I need to get done. Okay. So that's what I got. Whips, a finish, some haul, some rambling. Yeah. So anyway, that wraps up June for me. I'm gonna have to do a lot of editing with this because my iPad is just acting funky today. It's probably my fault, but whatever. Anyway, hoping July is just as good, if not even better. Again, thank you for all of your subscribes, likes, comments. I see them all, and I try to answer all the questions in the comments. If I miss answering a question and I don't address it in a video, please feel free to like send me a message, because if I miss something, I would feel really bad. So let me know. Anyway, yeah, so that concludes June. Hope the month has been really good for you, and I'll see you at the end of July. Bye.